Open up a tab, grab a seat, and pour a pint. It's time for the Beer Guys Radio Show.
You want free beer? Go to the brewery.
Dedicated to the art, science, and enjoyment of craft beer.
Yeah, what's wrong with the beer we got?
Now, here are your hosts, Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams.
And welcome to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We are radio for the local craft beer movement. Broadcasting today, not from our studios, but from one of our great sponsors at Your Pie Perimeter. I'm Aaron Williams.
And I'm Tim Dennis. And this week, as Aaron mentioned, we're at Your Pie Perimeter where it's Pint Night with Eventide Brewing. And we've got Geoffrey Williams here with us to talk beer today.
No relation.
No relation?
Not at all.
Yes.
Not at all. As far as I know, anyway.
I don't know. It's possible.
You've got some red hair. You got red hair, I don't,
Yeah,
so I guess we might be all right.
I might have seen you.
Okay, at the
86
reunion.
family reunion. Yes.
That's it,
Nah.
that's it.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank
No,
you.
this is
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. So before I destroy the furniture around here, but you know, it's been kind of a busy week. I know for you and I, work has been crazy. Work has been crazy for you too, but
Absolutely.
We've been able to get at least some beers in, I believe.
Yeah,
we did.
sure.
So what did you do this week?
So last weekend I went to the Scofflaw anniversary party. Enjoyed some beers there. They had a heck of a turnout there.
Yeah.
You know, just big crowd there. Lots of people brought their kids, which, as everyone knows, I love children in a brewery.
Absolutely, I know it's your favorite thing.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, you're a big fan of that.
Then we went over to Torch Top for a while. Mm-hmm. We had some snacks over there and tried their cocktails. I was feeling cocktails.
Okay.
And had their gin and tonic, their elevated gin and tonic.
I haven't
It's
had gin
really
and tonic
nice,
in
man.
ages,
Really nice.
and I love
So-
gin and
How was
tonic.
it? I haven't been
Yeah,
there since they
really
first
good.
opened. How is it now?
So everything, their beers were good when
Yeah,
they opened. They're
yes.
even better now.
They had a lot
really
of guest
dialed
beers
it.
on tap. Have they moved fully to their beers on
I
tap
think
now?
they still have guests, but
I think
they
they
have
have
a
some.
lot more of their own.
Cool.
So
Sure.
and they do, what's it, Ponce de Leon IPA?
Yeah, the Hops de Leon.
Yeah,
That's
Hops de
what it is.
Leon.
Leon.
Yeah.
Tribunal is what I had, and that's
Tribunal.
really dang.
Right.
Well,
That's
actually,
nice.
yeah, that was the double IPA that was actually on at Shelton Fest.
Shelton.
So, yeah, they did a really nice
good
job
stuff.
with
in
that.
Georgia
nice.
on my grind, I think is what it was. Or
That was their porter or their stout?
that was their export porter or export stout, I think,
Export
with
stout?
coffee. That was
Cool.
that was nice.
It was tasty, yeah.
Yeah.
Field operative Brian Hewitt, by the way, is also
Absolutely.
Too, yes.
Good old Brian. And Becky Smalls is hanging down.
She is. She's behind the
keeping an eye
camera.
on
She's
us.
just kind of making sure that we're not
That's
messing
right.
around.
Keeping her distance from us.
That's
which is
exactly
a
right.
good-
You get her in
So-
front of
a
the
good
camera.
call. So that's
She likes to stay in the back
Yeah.
of the camera. I don't know. It's okay.
But then I wrapped up with Orpheus.
Nice.
So we did the full rounds there. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I was pretty boring this week. Like I said, I mean, some allergies or something is getting to me. But I also went to the Scofflaw year anniversary and were able to get some good beers, of course. Coffee Absentium, which is one of my favorite coffee stouts that they make at quote-unquote 13.9%. It will knock on your butt if you're not careful. But a lot of different beers, and they've also got a really nice beer, which I love because my nickname in college was Howley, Haole, which is Hawaiian for basically white guy.
Yes.
It's not necessarily a great name for some people. It's fighting words in some locations, but my parents moved to Hawaii when I was a freshman in college, and so once my friends figured out that was the nickname for white guy, they called me Howley. And
So your nickname was is it racial or cultural slur?
it was a cultural slur for white
Yeah.
guy, and so.
Okay.
But I was in college in
All right.
upstate New York, so I thought it was okay. But finally, someone made a beer just for me, and
That's
they
it,
Scofflaw
yeah.
made a Howley Pilsner. It was really
Very
good.
nice.
Yeah, they did a really nice
Nice.
job with Hawaiian honey and on it, so it was delicious. But had that, and of course, me being a faithful and loyal Gwinnett County resident, went to go check out Slow Pour. Slow Pour is actually opened last weekend, and they are Gwinnett's first brewery in Lawrenceville. So
Very
they
cool.
just opened up just outside of downtown Lawrenceville. The space is amazing and an absolutely nice job. They had 3 beers on tap. They had a blonde, they had a pale, and an IPA as well. So congratulations to those guys at Slow Pour, and hopefully we'll get them on the show here in a few weeks or so.
Yeah, we're working on it. I saw some of the pictures. Just looks like a gorgeous tasting room.
And you know what? I tell you what, I went there when they first announced about a year and a half ago that they were opening, and it was a pit. I mean, it was just a shell. And they converted it, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a really nice space to check out. So.
It's always cool to see the transformation on those places.
Definitely a lot of fun. So, enough of the beer that we drank. Let's talk about the beer that we're drinking. The Truck and Tap Beers of the Week.
Crack open a cold one. It's the Truck and Tap Beer of the Week. Craft beer and food trucks in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com.
Aaron, we've got some great ones this week. As you know, we're talking to Eventide, so we're drinking some Eventide beers. So we started out with the A IPA, so enjoyed that one. We've moved on. I have the Pale Ale now.
I
think
have
that's
the A,
what
though. I
you're
went
doing.
back again to the A.
Went to
'cause
the
that's
A
how I
again,
roll,
so.
yes.
And then we've got, I think there's some Redheaded Haley that I saw, some cans.
We did, yeah. So we
here,
brought you guys some cans.
Nice.
Awesome, man.
So
Very cool.
that's our current seasonal.
Excellent.
Nice.
So,
And then we've got a few that we pre-gamed with, thanks to our friend Mac McGuire, sending some beers out. We had a Tired Hands double IPA, really good, nice hazy. Hazy is not a flavor. But
no, it's not.
A tasty
but it was a very
beer.
hazy double IPA. Yes.
And Arches was nice enough to bring us some cans by. We have their Queen's Weiss, and a Southern Belle.
Yeah.
Belgian Ale. So they dropped really good-looking cans.
The cans are amazing. Of course, the beer's great too. We'll drink some of those a little bit later on.
And they have their unseasonal lager coming in cans soon.
Yes,
right?
and I talked to Ryan, one of the co-owners of Arches, and he said the power outage from Irma kind of messed up their batch.
They got tore up.
So they're looking at basically 1st of October is when they're going to release all the Southern Belle and the Queen's Weiss. Mid-October is when they're going to have that unseasonal lager. So that's going to be on cans in a few weeks as well. So shouldn't delay too much, but they're growing, they're expanding. So congratulations to the folks on the South Side. So it's always good to see them grow.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at this week's headlines.
What's in the news? The beer guys have the scoop.
Extra, read all about it.
Time for headlines. Sponsored by Your Pie Perimeter in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center across from Perimeter Mall.
So, we, of course, love to talk craft beer, but every once in a while we start to bring the big boys in. And Budweiser and Lyft is doing something pretty cool this week.
Yes.
I got to give them some credit for this one. So, this weekend, Budweiser and Lyft are offering free rides. So
not just this weekend,
but through the whole month, right?
Through the end of the year.
That is crazy.
So it started this weekend, but in select cities or select states around the country, they're giving free rides. I think it's from Thursday evening to Sunday evening.
I think it's 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. or something like that. It's some hour, like a 12-hour window.
Right, but you have to follow some social media and get a code. But it's it's nice. They're doing it to curb drunk driving, and we don't always talk very highly of Budweiser, but. Very nice. And you know what? Take advantage of Budweiser's free rides and go check out your local
exactly
brewery.
Right. Go bar crawling on behalf of Budweiser to all the microbreweries and all the craft brewers across the area. And get beer to go, which is, again, something I just love to do. It's so awesome. So it is beautiful. I was stopped at your brewery a couple weeks ago, actually, and got some beer to go. It was always nice to do to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Red Brick has got another partnership. Of course, a few months ago, they came out with their Whale Shark Wheat Ale as a partnership with the Georgia Aquarium. They're coming out with another one as well. Georgia, of course, Red Brick is Atlanta's oldest operating craft brewery, and they have got a partnership with the Georgia Aquarium. Their next release is going to be Penguin Pale Ale. So there you go.
Penguin Pale Ale, man. Cool.
Absolutely. So that's a 5.7 ABV. It's going to launch September 28th. So next week they're going to have a launch there. So
and we're actually going to be sitting down with Red Brick on the 25th. I think that's next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we are.
And we're going to sit down with Garrett and Gavin. They're going to give us a little preview of their anniversary beers that they're doing, and we're going to Facebook Live that event.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. Good stuff there. Some Alabama news to talk about too. The city of Prattville is entertaining the idea of an entertainment district downtown. And that basically means the public consumption of alcohol in a designated area. So, city of Prattville, actually, it's been known as kind of a straight-laced southern town, but they're actually starting to open it up, and hopefully they'll be able to have open container laws in the downtown area, make it a little bit more palatable. And they've got, again, a Taga Creek Craft House in downtown Prattville, one of the good craft beer bars there. So, hopefully you can get some craft beer, walk around, and enjoy the sights of downtown soon. So
very cool.
Yeah, up to a vote there, and they're going to work on that as well. Now, this other news, actually, we've started to see this now. I'm wondering if you guys are doing it, Geoffrey. The independent brewing label, the little label with the upside down that he's going to show me right now in his bottle.
I see
it right there. So
we had to make it fit on the cans themselves. But we have incorporated that, and if you come down to the brewery, we actually have the sticker on the front facing. Sorry,
that's okay.
Little far away from
the
microphone.
Yes.
Yeah. So we actually have it on the doorway as you come in, and all of our cans we're trying to incorporate into the design now.
Yeah. So they said, read in this article, that a lot more breweries are starting to get that independent logo now in the new shipment. So it basically was unveiled a couple of months ago. They had to get rid of all the older shipments and the older cans that they've already bought, and now they're starting to bring it back in. So like we mentioned before, I talked to the Arches guy about it. They've got theirs on their can too, and he said that it was a last-minute decision. He was like, he had to. They announced it. He called him up and they said, "Hey, can we fit this bottle in here?" And they're like, "Well, maybe." And they were able to put it in.
I know Burnt Hickory has it. I've seen it on Burnt Hickory's
Torch
cans.
Top has a big mural
on the wall.
Big mural, sure do.
Reformation does as well. So we're starting to see more and more of those breweries start to have that independent label. So that's certainly a good thing. I like to see that. So finally, though, I've got an interesting article. in the world of health. So when I used to be a server back in the day and I would pour beer, I would always want to make sure that there wasn't a lot of head and just make it as full as possible. But apparently that's the wrong way to pour a beer. You actually want a bigger head in a foamier beer when you're pouring it, because that basically it opens up the head, gives it a little more aroma, but it also helps with the gas. It releases some of that gas out there. So if you've got gas issues, I'm not going to say any names, but I have them.
I'm not going to say any names, but it rhymes with Aaron Williams.
Exactly. So if you've got some gas problems, pour it a little bit stronger in the beer, and that releases some of the carbonation, so it doesn't get stuck in your belly.
Is that bro science or legit science?
No, it's legit science.
Sounds like bro science.
It does sound like bro science.
It does, but it was an actual guy that's been through the Cicerone program and everything said it. So
okay.
I'm sure it helps with the gas, but the big benefit there is the aromatics from the beer are released coming out of that. So that's for me, that's the big gain. Then
to be
of course
honest,
my wife benefits on the back end from the lack of gas. Right?
Exactly.
So.
That's it. So
to be honest, it's attractive to have a beer like that. A nice head on there. A well poured beer. You should have some head on a beer. So.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah. So we need to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. We are recording live at Your Pie Perimeter this week, talking to Geoffrey Williams from Eventide.
It's Aaron and Tim, the beer guys. If you're like us, no lunch or dinner is complete without a pint or two of craft beer.
Which is why Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock is always on our list. Tim, why do they call it Truck and Tap?
Well, the tap part is easy. They have 12 of them. Bottles, too. Not sure what to drink? All of their beer service are Cicerone certified. And if you got someone who isn't a beer fan, not to worry. Truck and Tap carries wine, mixed drinks, and even handcrafted sodas.
As for the truck part, well, that's when it gets interesting. Truck and Tap features your favorite Atlanta area food trucks daily. That way, you're getting a different menu every day.
Check it out. Truck and Tap in downtown Woodstock. Truckandtap.com. Let them know that the beer guys
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
All right, dude, this one's called a strikeout. What you're going to do is take a hit, chug your beer, do a shot, then blow out the smoke.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to Beer Guys Radio Show, BeerGuysRadio.com. We are broadcasting live at Your Pie Perimeter for Eventide Pint Night, and since it is Eventide's Pint Night, we decided to bring Eventide on the show. Geoffrey Williams is joining us today, so thanks for having us here at Eventide Pint Night at Your Pie Perimeter. I came back from that.
You did. That was a good save.
I almost saved it. That was almost good. So, but thanks for coming on the Beer Guys Radio Show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No, that's awesome. So, you've before we start, by the way, you've got a beer that you want to crack open. Your fall seasonal.
I do.
What do you got here?
So I have Redhead Haley here. This is our fall seasonal, and it's a red ale, traditional red amber ale. Nice biscuit, toasted bread notes, a little bit of nuttiness, a playful, fruity yeast profile in there, but very, very light. It's really made for a Georgia fall. Hell, it's still 90 degrees outside right now, so you want something that's going to be fairly light and easy to drink, but I like the malt profile is still there. And went away from the traditional pumpkin or October. One, I'm not ready for a pumpkin beer. For me, it's way too early. Yeah. It's we're already a month into the fall session as far as beer seasonals go. And then everybody does an Oktoberfest, so I want to do something a little bit different here. And it was actually made for my business partner, one of the co-founders, his wife, Haley.
Yep.
Beer sake's name. When she first got into craft, when we first got introduced to it, she really enjoyed amber ales. That's all she would drink. Across the board craft, but only those beers. And this beer was made especially for her.
Well, amber ales are super approachable. They're just super easy drinking beers. My grandfather has one pretty much every night. And that's, it's great.
Yeah,
this is a great drinking beer. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, I didn't realize how much I enjoy an amber ale or a red ale. So, because like you said, it gives you, a little bit of hoppy character, but some malt there, which I love. Yeah. I love that combination.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And you can run the spectrum with those. Like you go pale ales, you expect big hop. You pull an amber or a red in, you can go super malty. You can go very clean, very light. You can go very hoppy. It can run the gamut.
Yeah.
So.
Because you even think about something like, of course, the traditional, it's not necessarily an ale, but the Sam Adams lager, that's a good amber lager. That's a very mild, very easy drinking beer. But then you go to like a Second Self Red Hop Rye, way on the hoppy side. So, you've got a lot of fluctuation, a lot of things to move in.
Yeah, Troeg's hop back.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
Go along those lines. So, that's the top end of the hop spectrum, then all the way down to, whatever you want it to be. So, it's a really versatile beer, which we really like, and it's a good one for fall for us.
So we've been talking about it, but we're not drinking it.
Well, we can drink it.
Okay,
you
good.
said something about popping this
Go
on
ahead,
the air,
Let's
so you
go,
got to
man.
tell me what you want to do.
Go
here.
for it, man. You got to do it. Exactly. That's the sound that I'm looking for. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's very cool. Hold on for a second.
So, I guess
I gotta chug
we
this
need to
other
slam
beer,
our
man.
beers real
Okay,
quick.
one, two, three, chug.
There you go.
Really enjoying this Eventide, the A that I'm drinking. I don't really want to chug it, but
that's okay.
You can do it. We believe in you.
That's right. That's right. So I just went ahead and took it.
For radio.
You can do it.
That's how you roll. So Geoffrey, by the way, too, congratulations. You just got married.
I did.
Awesome. So
Thank
you're
you.
spending your honeymoon with us, the beer guys.
Pretty much. Yeah, we.
Is that a dream come true or what?
It is.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I told my wife, listen, baby, I know we should be on an island somewhere, but beer guys really want me.
I get it. No,
and I got to do this.
That's absolutely.
So.
That is called a great wife.
We're actually going to interview you about the pregnancy.
Oh, no, she's on the island right now.
Oh, okay, good.
Did y'all understand? Okay,
She's like, that's fine. You go talk
exactly,
to the beer guys.
Exactly. You got a brew schedule to keep up, right? You got to get that stuff taken care of. That's it. So.
Yeah, well, really, that is it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, a brewer's work is never done. But now you started off in college at Georgia Southern.
Yes.
So you had Haley and Nathan Cowan were there with you guys,
Correct.
right? Yeah, awesome.
Both business partners,
and
longtime friends.
And like back in the day, you started off with doing like pickles, mustard, cheese. Were you just in a fermentation?
Well,
type
I mean,
of
that came a little bit later. So
okay,
I moved back. While we were down there, we would experiment with a bunch of stuff, and we would do that kind of stuff. We would have oyster roast and fish fries. We made dandelion wine just because there were a lot of dandelions, and it seemed like something we needed to do. And that kind of stuff. And we would experiment with food. We'd hang out and have a good time. But like ultimately, it was all about having a good time with friends.
Yeah.
Which is how this whole thing came about. It just happened to be that craft beer, was the impetus that got us to this point.
It seems kind of strange though, because Georgia Southern really isn't known for beer drinking. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What now?
I'm sorry. No.
Let's say it isn't.
No, let's say it isn't. Exactly.
I did not get that joke.
That's okay. No, I am raising a future Georgia Southern student.
Hey,
so
I want to talk about
nice.
I want to talk about Redheaded Haley here.
Yeah.
So, Geoffrey, I've drank this beer for the last few years. Since you guys opened up. This is the best it's been. This is really good. Man. This is really nice.
Oh.
Excellent malt and toastiness to it. The hop is balanced there. One thing I'm not a big fan of. I don't like a lot of bitterness in beers, but I like hop character. And this is mighty. This is a fall beer, man. You want to have this watching the game, sitting around with a brat.
You
throw some brats on the grill.
You want
now I want a brat,
right?
You want a sweatshirt on. You want a fire pit outside.
Yes,
that's what I'm looking for.
And some
the good thing about it, like because it's nicely balanced and it's fairly light and it's a little effervescent, is that you can do it on both sides of that. You can have the nice light jacket, fire pit, 50-degree night, or it could be 80 degrees and you get it cold and you drink and it's still not overwhelming.
Yeah,
right.
So that's the thing that we really like about it, is that it's very versatile as far as a fall beer in Georgia goes.
Yeah, definitely. So that's something you got to do, because again, the summer will change, and we're into fall now officially, and it's going to be 70 degrees one day, but an 88 the next day.
That's how it was today. I mean, it was 90 degrees outside.
It's crazy.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We had a little cool snap a couple weeks ago here in
Atlanta.
We did.
It
was nice.
Yeah, we're going to get one. We're going to get one back next week.
We I was going to say, we got a hurricane.
That's it.
Were it not raining, I'd had all my windows open because it was 1 to 65 degrees outside.
Great,
I was like, can we keep this?
Yes.
But this was the first year we packaged this.
Right.
So this is it. This is the first year we packaged it, which has been really, really nice for us.
Very cool. I love seeing all the cans.
Me too.
Coming out now. So many Georgia breweries are finally getting their products in cans.
Yep.
That we can get them in portability, man. I love the convenience of being able to get a growler of a beer that you couldn't get in a can or a bottle. But I've never been a huge fan of growlers or crowlers.
No, I never have either.
You've seen me pour a crowler. It's not a pretty sight.
No, it's not, actually. No, it's not pretty.
But, cans, I really like seeing the move there.
Yeah.
I love that people are taking the can art seriously. That's a really good-looking can.
Yeah.
And as well as the other cans we were looking at earlier. That's a great-looking can.
Yeah, it's almost like our generation's album art. Back in the 70s and 80s, they always had great album art, but that's gone away now. But now we can use
At least
cans.
we've got our beer cans.
Can art.
Speaking of that, what kind of thought goes into your cans?
Here's the thing: it's not only is it the front-facing form of the company. Like this is essentially us in an art form and what we make these cans. But they're also nice little billboards for us out in the market. So we want to make something that you look at and you identify with and you are drawn to, but also is inherently Eventide.
Right.
And that's what we try to do with this. And I'd like to say it's a really easy process, but it takes a little while to get here. We have a great graphic designer. We work with this guy, and he puts up with all of our thoughts. Multiple revisions. But at the end of the day, I think we come up with something that's really, really nice. And this is what we do. So for our core designs, we have a straightforward, fairly simple but nice pop of color design on everything that's going on, which is what we wanted because it's meant to be that way. And then for all of our seasonal stuff, big colors, lots of stuff
changed
going on
up
there,
a little bit.
fun.
Yeah.
So you can differentiate between the two. But at the end of the day, everything that you see, everything that you read, everything that you drink is all Eventide.
Well, I love talking to different breweries about packaging because a lot of consumers are going to go look at a shelf and their thought will be, that's a cool looking. If they haven't tried the beer or haven't heard of it, that's a cool looking can. What the heck, I'll pick it up. But there's a whole lot of thought that goes into that can.
There really, really is. Absolutely.
Or there should be. Yeah.
So, and that's the hope. The hope is they look at the can, identify with the can, say, I really like that. I'm going to pick this up and drink it. And then the liquid inside brings them back for another 6-pack, another case, and as it moves forward.
And we've talked about this before, is that, the shelf space at the bottle shops are just, you're competing so much. So,
you really are.
And you go to even the Kroger's and those types of things, you're battling for that shelf space.
You
so
really
need
are.
someone to catch that eye really quick to make you go. So, and that's always going to be the tough thing. So
catch them on the shelf, man. There's a lot of people struggling for shelf space these days. So,
Exactly.
Well, Geoffrey, we need to take another quick break. We've been here talking about cans and Red-Headed Haley and all this good stuff. We'll get there more, but let's take a break right now. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show from your Pie Perimeter and talking to Geoffrey Williams of Eventide.
There is something in the air in Kennesaw. I'm sure you've noticed it. It is the sweet, sweet smell of barbecue permeating from The Nest, a new barbecue and beer restaurant in K-Town. The Nest is your new restaurant if you really love barbecue. Ribs, brisket, chicken, oh my. Did we mention the bar? The Nest of Kennesaw offers 49 taps of craft beer and an amazing bottle list as well. It's quite simple. If you really like barbecue and craft beer, you have to visit The Nest. Barbecue and beer in Kennesaw, near historic downtown on Cherokee.
Have you ever thought about owning your own brewery, but don't know what it takes to get one built? We're CRL Contracting, and we build breweries. We are the most experienced contractors in the state of Georgia when it comes to building new breweries and tap rooms, or expanding current breweries. If you've been to Orpheus, Second Self, or Scofflaw, then you know what kind of work we can do. Just give us a call at 678-546-3382 or visit crlcontracting.com for more information. CRL Contracting. We build breweries. crlcontracting.com.
We are Reformation Brewery, celebrating the reformer in you. Locally crafted within the renowned Etowah watershed of Woodstock, Georgia, Reformation creates yeast-forward brews full of aroma and flavor crafted to last. Come see us in beautiful Woodstock, Georgia, for a tour and tasting of unique brews that you can't find anywhere else. Reformation Brewery. Set beer free. ReformationBrewery.com.
Ahoy there, mateys! Hunting whales? We've got you covered with Tim's Whale of the Week.
Yar, Tim, we've got some whales of the week.
We do have some whales, Aaron. So these are ones to keep out for. Over in Georgia, a lot of new cans from some local breweries. So Wild Heaven has a Callisto IPA. This is based on an experimental batch they did with the Callisto hops, and they've re-released it because it was popular. Orpheus Ascending IPA, Monday night, Hand Brolo Pale Ale cans are coming out. And as we talked about earlier, Arches, their Southern Belle Belgian Ale is hitting this week.
Nice. Lots of good stuff.
We also, one that I know a lot of people are looking forward to, that actually released yesterday at Creature Comforts, the Crescendo cans.
Yep.
They'll go fast, so if you want some, get your tail over to Athens and get on that. Also in the Atlanta area, American Solera bottles have hit
That's a big
stores
one.
here.
Yeah.
So, and if you're over in Alabama, Cahaba's Oktoberfest cans have just released for the season. So
Tasty.
It's about that time, end of October, Oktoberfesty.
I guess we'll do it. Yeah, end of September, early October.
That's the way it goes.
Good stuff. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Well, cool. Welcome back again. We were talking to Geoffrey Williams from Eventide Brewing. We are drinking his Red-Headed Haley. We've got his AIPA. We're here at Your Pie Perimeter for their Eventide Pint Night. So thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, we've had some good conversation about can art, but I want to talk a little bit more about what actually goes in the can.
Sure.
How about that? Exactly. So a lot of your beers, I think we can consider them quote-unquote drinking beers.
For the most part, yeah.
Kolsch, Pale Ale, IPA.
Yeah.
Is that something that's kind of what your wheelhouse is? You want to have some approachable beers?
Well, I like having those because here's the thing: like we like having beer. We like having beer that people want to drink. And I want to keep a 6-pack in your fridge, and you can go to it and pop one off, and you don't have to get ready for it or overthink drinking the beer.
It's not a big snifter,
No, it's just an easy drinking beer, and our core styles are meant to be that way. Our core styles are a nitro stout, a Kolsch style, a pale ale, and an IPA. An American style 7% IPA, and all 4 of those you can go at any time and enjoy them. And our seasonals get a little out there, and we have some fun with those, but at the end of the day, I want it to be a beer you want to drink and want to have more than one of. Because I run into a lot of people that tell me, I want to try a beer, but I only want to try the beer. Like, it sounds interesting, but I don't want to drink an entire glass of it. So I'd much prefer you drink an entire glass of my beer. Like, I want you to enjoy it. I don't want you to just say, yeah, that's really interesting. Now can I have something that I actually want to drink?
There's some beers like that I love, but I feel that way about.
And that's really, and
give me 4 to 6 ounces. I can't do much more.
And that's really what. And I'm the same way. And here's the thing: we are kind of like the top tier of beer drinkers here. So if anybody's going to drink more than 4 to 6 ounces of those beers, it's going to be us. And hell, we run into that issue. Just think about the other 99% of people out there. So I like having beer that people like drinking. And outside of that, I'll experiment with some stuff. You were talking about new release stuff. Like every Thursday night, we have a new release of something at the brewery. So we do a Thursday night release. I make 5 gallons of something. It can be a variant of a style that I already have or a brand new beer. But it allows people to have a little bit of fun with what's going on there, get a little outside their comfort zone, and experience some new flavors and styles and new profile. It's great. Yeah. We get a good draw down there, and people enjoy it. And then they go back to drinking the beer they really enjoy drinking, which is what I appreciate.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's what you do. You got to have those drinking beers.
Exactly.
Yeah. You got to have some of those.
The lawnmower beers that you always get. So,
Now, speaking of kind of your seasonal releases and that, we've been sipping Red-Headed Haley, which is your current seasonal. But you have a couple others coming up as the seasons supposedly get cooler, right?
Yes, that's the hope here. So the mid-season release is a seasonal specialty beer. That's Highlander. It's a beer. Funny story, that first snowstorm back, 8 years ago.
Yeah,
6
the big
years ago.
snowmageddon we had.
The one before the one where it was 2 inches of snow and shut everything down.
Exactly.
That one had a snow day. My business partner Nathan and I, we had some just random grains sitting around there, so I pulled together a recipe for a strong Scotch ale, wee heavy, and to that day the recipe stands exactly the same as it is now, and that's Highlander. 7 different malts go into it, huge big malt profile, 8.2 beer, very very nice. Can't wait for that one to come out. I actually brewed the first batch of it today.
Okay.
Today.
So this beer was a what do we have laying around the brewery kind of, and it worked out perfect.
Absolutely was.
I love it. Okay.
I quite literally took a look at what I had available as far as, what grains I had available, and then what yeast I had available, and I looked at it, I was like, strong Scotch ale.
Is there a word for that? It should be like brulash, like goulash.
A brulash.
It's a brulash beer.
But that was
Highlander brulash Scotch ale.
It was so good. It's like like a shark hasn't evolved over years. Like from the first time it was made, it hasn't had a need
no
to
changes,
evolve.
Huh?
It was perfect from the start. We'll leave it alone.
That's awesome.
And then of course Kattegat will be our winter seasonal coming back out. Baltic Porter, fantastic, 7%. It's one of my favorite beers. I love the profile. Very, very clean. You get a lot of nice milk and dark chocolate notes in there. That little bit of roastiness, just enough bitterness to kind of balance. And then also going to have oaked variants of both of those, both Highlander and Kattegat this year.
I was just about to ask if any of those were going to see some barrels or oak.
So there's going to be an oak variant of each of those. Very, very small run, draft only, but look for that late October, 1st of November for Highlander, and then probably mid-December for Kattegat.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, September 1st, of course, is a big thing for Georgia and beer. We actually finally got to buy beer from the brewery. It's a shocker that we can do that. You guys had a special midnight toast for that.
We did.
Yeah. How has that changed your... Don't touch the equipment, Tim. Don't do that. Leave it to the professionals. No. How has that changed your business, or has it changed?
There hasn't been a drastic change to what we're doing now. So we've expanded our hours. We now have Monday hours, and we have actually $3 core drafts on Mondays, which is a hell of a deal.
Yeah.
So come on down, have a beer.
I want to accentuate that, just because one of the biggest things we've heard, Geoffrey, with this change is Atlanta's got a fairly large college population.
Of course.
Those $12 tours, they loved them, man.
Oh, I would have gone crazy back in the day.
They love dropping $12 and coming in. So a lot of people have been extremely surprised that they're paying an average pint price at a brewery. So come down to Eventide and you can get some $3.
Yeah, so on Monday nights we run a special.
Yeah,
there you go.
And watch a little bit of Monday Night Football if you want to.
There you go.
But hey, it's a cool special. We get to have it. And and outside of that, we run a legitimate pint price for everything else. Like we want to stay competitive with the people in the neighborhood. We're not trying to undercut them. We don't want to cause any issues or anything there. We don't want to devalue the beer itself. Yeah. But we feel that $5 is a pretty fair price for a pint of beer.
On the note of places in the area, you have a fantastic relationship with a growler shop right there.
Absolutely. We have a fantastic relationship with most of the people in the area.
Shout out to My Friend's Growler Shop.
My Friend's Growler. Cam, Hunter.
I know that they've always carried your beers. There'd be stuff.
From the beginning. These guys have been great.
And, this is something that kind of shows the symbiotic relationship between a brewery and anytime I go to the brewery, if you didn't have something, you're like, I think My Friend's Growler
100%.
Shop has it. My Friend's Growler would tell me to go to Eventide.
Yep.
So, these guys, they support each other. It's not against each other thing. They're supporting each other.
And that's how it was from the beginning. And that's how most of the establishments took it. And it was kind of nice having that. So we're working to grow craft beer, period, across the board. Yeah. And it's nice having that. But getting back to what happened in September 1st is it's allowed us to expand hours. We do some fun stuff. We do a food truck stuff, a beer and biscuits deal. It's and just come down the brewery. We have more and more stuff kind of going on down there. And the great thing about it is that you no longer feel that you have to get in and out. You're limited to just your 36 ounces. And you're kind of moving on your way. It's a more comfortable, inviting environment for everybody.
And literally, it just makes more sense. If I'm after work, I want to run by. I just want to grab a pint, and you know what?
Done.
You got a 6-pack, I'm good, done, and I don't have to worry about tour and tickets and all that kind of stuff to mess around.
No, absolutely.
So, well, that's what we were talking about kind of off the air here, Geoffrey, is, not the change is exciting because everybody wants to go out and buy some beer at a brewery.
Yeah. Sure.
But where the big benefit comes is the long term, is the potential with this. For you to become a place you can come sit down, like you said, grab a beer, grab one, hang out for a minute, grab a 6-pack and go, if that's your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sit down and watch the whole game and have several.
Or whatever.
Exactly.
And that's what we like. Our tasting room was built to be a comfortable place to come down and have a beer, hang out for a while. The problem was the laws didn't allow us to do so. You essentially had to come down, move through your 36 ounces as quickly as possible and get out of there. So now you can come down, you feel relaxed, our hours are expanded. It's really taking on the full shape of what it was meant to be from the beginning.
Yeah, and for you guys, too, also it allows a little bit of experimentation, too, because you can actually do a one-off and make it profitable.
Expand out from the just the Thursday release. So, every Thursday, something new. But from there, so new one-off stuff, new styles coming in, weekly. Looking to, either move out into a new canning line or a crowler program or something to where you're allowed to, and have something fun and new kind of coming out there. So you come down the brewery, all of our beers are around. You're not coming all the way down from Woodstock or Canton just to buy our beer. You're going to buy our beer out there. But when you come down, there's a good possibility there's going to be something fun and new and exciting for you to try while you're down there. And, hey, you want to hang out with some friends, have a couple beers while you're there, take home a six-pack? Great. Fantastic.
Awesome. We need to take another quick break. We'll be back to wrap things up here with Geoffrey Williams of Eventide in just a few minutes.
This is Glenn Golden from Jailhouse Brewing Company. You're listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
The Beer Guys are back right after this.
Andrew and Lisa with Your Pie Perimeter here. We'd like to invite you to our store for a beer.
Is there anything better than pizza?
Yep, brick oven pizza that's made fresh and paired with a cold craft beer.
That's what you get at Your Pie Perimeter, located in the Perimeter Place Shopping Center by Perimeter Mall.
It's the perfect place to relax on the patio with a pint after work or bring the family in.
Andrew and Lisa, I'm going to let you finish, but first, you forgot to mention the $3 craft beer specials you have every Thursday. I mean, come on, the pizza's great, but that's an amazing deal. $3 craft beer specials every Thursday. Now, go ahead and finish your commercial.
Follow Your Pie Perimeter on Facebook for all of our beer events and specials.
That's Your Pie Perimeter, located in Perimeter Place Shopping Center next to Chipotle.
If you're into craft beer, you need to check out Drink This Beer. It's a podcast from the creators of Beer Guys Radio. Tim Dennis and Aaron Williams talk to some of the best and most important brewers across the country and the world. So if you like to drink beer, pull up a chair and crack open the Drink This Beer podcast, available on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you really like craft beer, the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market invites you to their store. Not just growlers and craft beer, but everything you need for backyard barbecues and tailgating is available at Stout Brothers. Big Green Egg, accessories, local meats, cheeses, sauces, pickles, and more. If the gang's plans involve your backyard this weekend, you gotta visit the Stout Brothers. Stock up today and get ready for life. It's quite simple. If you really like craft beer, you have to visit the Stout Brothers Smyrna Beer Market in the Smyrna Market Village.
Follow the Beer Guys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hang out in my basement. The chill zone is where we chillax, like relax and chill all at once.
Now, back to the Beer Guys Radio Show.
And welcome back to the final segment of Beer Guys Radio. We are talking with Geoffrey Williams from Eventide Brewing. What's going on?
We're talking about William Shatner's spoken word stuff.
I know. See, if you're missing the Facebook feed,
right,
you're missing out a great conversation.
That's where the good stuff happens.
I would agree with that.
We've talked. How did we get on that?
I have no.
So we were trying to pretend doing NPR.
Yes.
And Brian said I William Shatnered it.
Indeed, you did.
So we talked about his spoken word of Rocket Man.
Rocket Man and Common People, apparently.
And Common People, yes.
So, yeah.
Also, just to say,
right.
Hey, Rose.
What's
up,
up, Rose?
She's
there
fantastic.
we go, man.
Nice. So, exactly. We love
her. Hey, the other thing is these guys have agreed to come down, do one at the brewery. We're going to make a beer.
We're going to brew some beer.
We're going to make a beer
I'm going to tell you guys
for a radio segment.
Right now that we can do the radio segment, but we need to brew their Bandito because that Bandito is legit.
Oh, that's, that was the stout, the homebrew stout I was telling you about earlier.
That's perfect timing, too. So
we can do whatever, we can brew all the stuff.
We can brew all the beers.
Oh, now
all the beers.
The Beer Guys Radio series.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The series.
We'll set it up.
You'll look at it and you'll see you need how much grain?
Exactly.
Yes.
No.
How much is this a crowler? $79. So
yes. That's right. So we're wrapping up here. Fourth segment, of course. But Geoffrey, what's next for Eventide? What do you guys got going on? What do you guys have got planned for the future?
So new and exciting stuff is really what we're looking into. I'm going to land a 5-barrel fermenter. Going to do a lot of one-off stuff through the tasting room. Putting in place a barrel aging program, and not just the traditional bourbon barrel or whiskey barrel, something like that. So I'm going to have, wine, both white, red. Going to move into a sour realm in those. And
have you guys done any kettles or anything yet?
What's that?
Any kettle sours or anything
I have
yet?
not, and I don't really want to because the sours I appreciate are like the Flemish style and the Flanders, like the stuff that takes 18 months to 2 years to put together.
Sure.
And that's what I want to do. Like I really, really appreciate the time you put in, and the deep complexity of flavor you pull out of something like that.
Right.
Versus, like, don't get me wrong, I love kettle sours. They're easy to drink. They're light. They're great.
Different
they turn
world,
around.
though. Yeah. Totally different world.
For me, like for what I want, if I'm gonna do a sour, I'd rather not delve into the realm that everybody else is. Go a different direction. Do something that's gonna take me a couple years to set up in a barrel.
Yeah.
Really like bring that deep flavor, levels and levels and levels upon it, and enjoy it, because those are the ones I enjoy. And generally, here's the thing: the beer we make is beer we want to drink, and that's really where it is. So we want to put something like that out there. And that's not to say we'll never do a kettle sour, because we also like those. They're very light. They're easy to drink. I mean, heck, man, during summer, Gozas are going nuts. Berliner Weiss, Goza,
absolutely,
all the time. It's a perfect beer to have during that time. But I'd like to invest some time in creating a couple of those nice Flanders and Flemish style that are going to turn out really, really nice a couple years from now. And outside of that, we'll do some different, different sour stuff, primarily in barrels, very, very small batch, probably bottle conditioned, and really kind of get that stuff going. But more and more of that's on the horizon. Like right now, we're a very small brewery. We're just trying to get the beer out there. We're trying to satiate the market, and that's been our big focus right now. We want to make sure that everybody that wants the beer can have the beer.
Yeah.
When some time, some space opens up, that's my focus, is moving to that next phase.
Well, and I think we had Haley on about a year ago, and we really talked about the sense of community that you have. I mean, you're Grant Park's brewery. I mean, you want to be that Atlanta, Grant Park area community.
Absolutely.
Part of that, and that's important.
Love it.
Yeah. A little bit more than so, and these new laws are going to allow you to kind of do that a little bit more, as opposed to have to push out production all the time. Is that how it works, or is it?
Well, I mean, we'll still have to continue production and continue pushing forward on that as we expand. But we like catering to the Grant Park and the surrounding areas. I mean, we are a neighborhood brewery, and thankfully Grant Park has been accepting enough of us and been nice enough to bring us in and make us a part of their neighborhood. So we enjoy giving back. That's why our tasting room is the way it is. It's, like I said, a comfortable place to come hang out. We have, families hanging out in the front yard with their kids doing the stuff they need to. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure we foster that relationship, because we like having those communities come down and hang out with us. Now, outside of that, we just want to keep making really, really great beer for them, and move outside of that and make really awesome beer in addition to it.
Well, that's something, like we said, with the September 1st laws, it opens up a lot of doors.
Yeah.
But if you want continued growth, there's some people that we talked to a little brewery in Alabama last week, Green Bus.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever want to do anything more than serve some beer out of his tap room. He wants to be the small neighborhood spot. But if you do want to grow your brewery and expand, you still have to take care of the production, the retail partners of that. And you can do that and still offer a neighborhood environment at your tap room, And, if you want some growth, I think that's the way to do it, to balance those two out. So,
and that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Absolutely. So come in, hang out have a pint, go to the store when you need to restock if you need to, if you can't make it to the brewery, and good to go.
Yeah, good to go. And also your tap room, again, you've renovated that fairly recently. And, it's kind of nice that you can rent out for private events and those types of things too, right?
Yeah, so so we have a separate area set up as a lounge. You can come in, you can actually rent that out during normal tour and tasting hours, so you don't have to rent out the entire space. You can rent out the entire space, which happens quite often. It wasn't a thing I thought would happen, but it's actually a really, really fantastic place for large events and weddings, stuff like that. I mean, we've done a couple dozen weddings, I believe, so far, and they've been fantastic. So it's
I remember
really
I tried to go there a few months ago, and it was closed for a wedding. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But still, it's great for you guys because you're able to do that. Yeah.
Well, it's great that we can do it, and it's great for the people because they get a really good venue at a really good price, and everybody has a blast.
Yeah.
So
well,
really cool.
You got lots of beer there. I mean, that's
right.
That's my kind of wedding.
You can't go wrong with that, right?
Absolutely.
Good stuff, man. So you mentioned on an NPR interview a little bit ago that you're looking forward to 3 to 5 years. So you talked a little bit about what's in the plan for that. But in that 3 to 5 years, Do you want to get outside of Georgia? What's your plans to expand?
The plan is to expand outside of Georgia. Right now, just trying to meet the demand in Georgia. Make sure the entire Georgia market is satiated. There's a plan in place to take our current facility and expand it out to a larger brew house, which we have to do. Like our current setup was meant to establish the brand and get the beer out to the people of Georgia. From there, we need to up what we have, bring in a canning line, expand what we're doing, and really move everything out. Now, we don't have a set agenda as where exactly we're going to move outside of Georgia. There are some places we're looking at, and we really want to. There are actually some places where people have already been asking for us, and we want to move to. But we're going to make sure that Georgia's taken care of first. Yeah, I mean it's where we are. It's our home state. We want to make sure everybody here has all the beer they need. Then from there, we'll move outside of that. But there is a plan in place over the next 18 to 24 months to bring in a larger brew house, expand our facility, and move things from there.
Excellent. Cool.
Yeah.
Geoffrey Williams, Eventide, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Okay. Time to check out the hot list.
Time for the hot list. The beer guys have the scoop on what's going on next week. Brought to you by CRL Contracting. We build breweries. CRLcontracting.com.
That's hot.
So, Tim, do you want to go ahead and get us started with the hot list?
There's all kinds of good stuff going in Georgia this week. So, just some of the events to highlight here. Tomorrow, Sunday, we've got the second day of Monday night's Garage Grand Opening. Of course, today is the first day. Nappy Roots in concert this evening. So, good times there. On Tuesday, there's Legos in beer at Jekyll Brewing. And, I've heard, Aaron, that Legos is never plural.
Okay.
It's always Lego.
Lego.
But I've always said Legos. But anyhow,
I have too. Yes.
Whether it's Lego or Legos, it will be paired with beer at Jekyll Brewing on Tuesday.
That's good, yes.
Wednesday, trivia right here at Your Pie Perimeter and also up at Reformation in Woodstock. On Thursday, we have the Penguin Pale Ale release that we talked about a little bit earlier. Up at Burnt Hickory, Driving and Crying Mystery Road can release at Burnt Hickory Brewery. And a surprise concert there when they release the Driving and Crying beer.
Is it a surprise concert?
It's
that
a surprise.
We just announced it, so it's not a surprise?
No, we didn't announce anything.
Okay, good.
There,
Okay, good.
And then Saturday, it's a fully loaded day next Saturday also. Get out there and check it out. Red Brick's 24th anniversary. There's a beginning homebrewing class at Hop City Midtown. We've got Bumpkin Fest over at Southern Brewing Company. Arches Oktoberfest. There's other Oktoberfest events around the city and stuff going on, and Beer Fest in Dalton and Alpharetta.
Nice.
So fully loaded next Saturday.
Definitely.
How about Bama?
Yeah, we got a fully loaded list as well. Saturday today, that's Red Hills having their first anniversary party. That's going to last through Sunday as well. So if you miss it today, you got tomorrow. Downtown Huntsville is having an Oktoberfest. That's going to last through 9 p.m. tonight as well. Blue Water Tap Room celebrating their first anniversary all day today. And Sunday, we've got probably the greatest event ever for a craft beer place. I like your beard night at Straight to Ale.
Oh boy! Okay.
Because again,
thank you.
You're welcome.
You going to Huntsville, Brian?
I might have to now.
You might have to,
right?
exactly. So you got that, and then also on Wednesday, we got Yam I Am. They're having a release party at Mad Malt's Brewing in Huntsville, and National Drink Beer Day apparently is Thursday.
Okay.
I think that's every day.
We got that covered.
I think so too. That's at Salty Nut Brewing. So if you want a full list of our events, check out our calendar at BeerGuysRadio.com. Giveaway. What do we got?
Our winner this week is Cindy Smith.
Nice.
Cindy, thank you so much for subscribing to This Week in Georgia Beer. Drop us an email to beerguys@beerguysradio.com, and we will get you a super cool pack full of swag to enjoy. And Aaron, how should folks join in the fun on this?
Super easy. Head to BeerGuysRadio.com. Sign up for This Week in Georgia Beer. You'll be entered to win a weekly newsletter with all the happenings in Georgia Beer. You'll also be entered to win our awesome swag pack every week. So that'll do it for this show. Coming up next week, we are going to talk all things Oktoberfest. Der Biergarten. Did I pronounce that correctly?
I don't think so.
I probably butchered that.
Not even remotely close.
Again, I'm French
sure.
and English. I can't pronounce that correctly. But Der Biergarten is going to be in the house with us, so that'll be fun. Check us out at BeerGuysRadio.com and on the socials. Don't forget to drink local, and cheers. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Beer Guys Radio Show. We're on demand via iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. Always online at BeerGuysRadio.com. Aaron and Tim are back next week with more about the amazing world of craft beer. Cheers. The Beer Guys Radio Show on the Beer Guys Radio Network. BeerGuysRadio.com.